Welcome to welcome to Lightcast webinars. Thank you for joining us today. We're really excited to have with us Alex Kennedy, who is the Account Director for Further Education at Lightcast, and Ben Knox, the Assistant Principal for Students at Weston College. We will have questions at the end of the presentation, so if you would like to put them in the questions part of your control panel, we will endeavour to get to those at the end of the presentation, and I will be sending out a follow-up email with the recording and the slides as well, so keep your eyes open for that. So without any further ado, I'll hand over to you, Alex. Hiya.
Hi Debbie, thank you for that, and welcome everyone. I suppose from a very grey and wet Cardiff here in Wales. We're very excited to have Ben Knox here from Weston College join us today to take us through how they use Career Coach to support their students through their journey. Before we get underway, Debbie's kind of said it already, we've got some exciting news about the company. I suppose about a year ago or so, Emsey and Burning Glass joined forces globally to combine us with different efforts on a very similar mission to help support organisations like yours to make informed decisions about the labour market. So it has taken a long time to combine the two companies and all that great stuff together, but you may have received emails about the new name, and even Debbie had to correct herself at the beginning of this, but our new name is now Lightcast, so we welcome you to Lightcast and our new world. And I suppose following on from that, nothing has really changed as such. We want to help you, our important and key stakeholders and partners, in driving your own missions in your communities to really help you make those decisions to drive education to align with the ever-changing world of work, and that's really important. We're excited to bring this new brand to you and this very vibrant identity to you. We do have a new website called lightcast.io, but the old website, it will redirect you and it will get you to the right place and where you need to be. Obviously, things like our social media channels, our email addresses will all be changing, and so will the brand and the front end of the products, and they'll all align with the new branding. And alongside that, then obviously comes that new fresh look, the new name, obviously a very similar mission, and then obviously the same wonderful people that still work here. And then I'd also like to give this opportunity just to talk you through about a new tool that we've created at Lightcast and developed, and this is called Curriculum Insight. And this tool will help you understand and demonstrate how well your courses are aligned, I suppose how they're aligned to demand for jobs and skills in your local economy. It is an interactive dashboard. It's there to support you, and what it does, it brings in Department for Education data, achievement data, with our LMI data and our job posting analytics. And that's to help you, as I said, to understand how your courses align to employer demand. If you would like a demo or a conversation about Curriculum Insight, or a demo or conversation about Career Coach after this, then please just drop us a line. At the end of this presentation, all of our email addresses from the FE team will be up on the screen, so please just drop one of us an email about that. So without further ado, I'd like to, while we're all here, I'll hand over and introduce you to Ben Knox, who's Assistant Principal for Students at Weston College, and he'll take you through, as I say, their journey about how they use Career Coach there. So thanks, Ben, and over to you.
Thanks, Alex. So yeah, morning everyone. So really going to focus on Career Coach today, and how we're using that to allow learners to shape career pathways, but ultimately as well to make an informed decision about their career paths, especially coming into the college. So just for those that maybe not know too much about Weston, it's a college that's experienced significant growth over the last 10+ years, now the 11th largest FE college in the country. Currently Ofsted outstanding, waiting a phone call probably beginning first term of next academic year. And really proud to be amongst national centres of excellence in SEND and maths, and then linked to Career Coach, and it did play a key role in this, is that we're really proud recently to be announced as a winner of 2 Beacon Awards with the AOC, but specifically one in Innovation for Careers, and I'm going to allude to elements of that bid in today's webinar. in terms of our partnership with MZ and now moving into Lightcast, we've used Lightcast Career Coach for 6 years now, and we found it to be invaluable in a number of things that we do, and I'll give you some insight into that today. But we've also over the last 4 years acquired another product, Course Analyst, Course Vision, from the Lightcast catalogue, and I'm going to allude a little bit to that. Some of you may have watched a webinar last year from a colleague of mine on Course Vision, but I'm just going to give you a brief slide or two on that as well, because the two do link and align. So if we can move to the next slide, please, Alex. Great. So careers, not courses. That is very much a mantra and ethos that we have at Weston. I know a lot of colleges also have that approach as well, and obviously that's vital today as we come out of a post-pandemic, Brexit economy, as well as various government agendas around levelling up. So when we acquired Career Coach as a program back in 2016, I think that was really the start of our ethos in terms of careers, not courses, and was the program, I think, that kind of led that approach. So to really push that agenda, we remodeled our applicant journey, because we felt that this needed to be embedded from that very beginning of the learner's journey with us, not just when they become a Weston College learner. So we remodeled our applicant journey into a 4-stage approach, which you can see a visual of on the slide there. And careers really was at the core of stage 1. We really wanted to make sure that learners were making an informed decision about the course that they wanted to go on to. We were, as a college at the time, seeing learners apply for 2, 3, in some cases 4 courses with us. So actually we felt that there was a gap there and there was a really need to do that, and that's where Career Coach came in. The beauty of it is that you can sit on your website, you can take it out into schools, you can deliver it as sessions within schools in terms of outreach. But what it does is it gives them an opportunity to take a career assessment, as well as just explore careers through LMI and certain job profiles. But they can do a career assessment, which on completion will give them various characteristics and traits that match to their answers. But you can then use APIs to map in your provision as a college as well. So for example, if a learner comes out with a certain profile, it will say, based on that, these courses here at Weston College would help you on that career pathway. So as much as we kind of embedded that into stage 1, we also then really wanted to use the data and the fabulous data that it is within Career Coach through Lightcast to embed that on various different literature and publications that we have. So in terms of that slide, you can see on the top left, just a 2-page spread from one of our recent school leaver full-time prospectuses. We felt that, back then, and in part still, that not necessarily LMI is accessible for all, and Lightcast and Career Coach gave us that platform. So we took data out of Career Coach and just gave an overview of what was actually happening within Weston-super-Mare and the 4 local authorities that it's in or around. And that's just a snapshot there. We found that actually to be really useful for parents as well. So that's kind of how we kind of started that careers, not courses. And then as we moved into summer of 2021, as a college, we reprofiled our curriculum and launched Career Excellence Hubs. And we felt this was quite a key time as we came out of a pandemic, or started to come out of a pandemic, but also was a mechanism to align our curriculum to the ethos of the white paper. Real focus on aspirations, employer engagement. We got employers to endorse our curriculum, but again, it just strengthened that careers, not courses approach, and was really vital in terms of being us to be able to say that we're guaranteeing our learners leave Weston College with the knowledge, skills and behaviours that are in demand by employers and industry. Next slide, please, Alex. So again, focusing on Career Coach, it was not just in prospectuses and QR codes linking to the URL or using information from it into our prospectuses. We made sure that it was embedded and completely immersed within our website. Our website is our biggest asset when it comes to student recruitment and information, advice and guidance. And for the last 3 years at Weston, we haven't had paper-based applications, we've been online, and we've made the decision that by 2025 we will remove all paper prospectuses. We will be completely online. So, you know, immersing and truly embedding Career Coach into our website has been really vital. How we've done that, I've just taken some screenshots there from our website and just take you through them. So we have job profiles on each of our subject area pages. You can see a digital example there of a number of different profiles, and you can see some, I suppose, top level LMI that pulls through from Career Coach via APIs. So you can see the number of job openings within the local area, and that's another positive of Career Coach. You can set them to regional, so it's specific to your local area where your college is based. You can then dig into those and find out more about those job profiles and careers. You can also see that we have really pushed our career excellence hubs and those endorsing employers. But the top right image is something that we've really found to be really beneficial for our website users, especially school leavers and their influencers, such as parents, is that we don't just allow learners now to search by career subject area, or program. They can actually go onto our website and search for a career, and then that will either take them into Career Coach or map into those subjects that align to that career. So I think that's been really vital for us. And as a college, we've also made the decision to not interview by course. So, for example, an applicant will decide if they apply for, let's say, a media or journalism course, they will, even though they will apply for that specific course on our website, what our tutors will do is interview them for the wider media industry, and we will, in the communication on receipt of application, will ask students to bring a Career Coach assessment to their college interview, so that can form part of that discussion. Next slide, please. So what's the impact of Career Coach? So this is just some data that I've taken out of the back office of Career Coach, and you can see that we've had just shy of 4,000 visits to our Career Coach portal this academic year, and 70% or near as were accessed via our college website. So pretty much every page has a link to Career Coach on our website, again driving home that careers not courses ethos. In terms of those assessments, and the great thing about the assessments is you can differentiate by level. So there are 6 question assessments, 30 question assessments, or 60 question assessments. We've had just over 1,000 completed, and you can see that over 3/4 were completed by local school students. In terms of Career Coach as a great outreach tool and partnership tool, when you're thinking about work with local schools, is that you can actually offer them free, I suppose, branded versions of Career Coach via your license. Unfortunately, none of the schools around Weston-super-Mare took up the option of this. Just kind of showcases the political and multi-academy trust nature of North Somerset. However, I know that there are colleges who have access to Career Coach, and schools really find this beneficial. Obviously, it links back into that college's, I suppose, provision offer, but they have their own branded version of a career software for free. And you can just see some of the learner voice that's come back from learners coming into the college. So high 90s in terms of they have enough information to make their application and in terms of their career pathway. And, you know, again, learners bringing those assessment tools to their interview, they're getting enough information and the answers they want from their college application. And I think the bottom point was really big for us, going back to that starting point when we engaged Lightcast or MZ in terms of that Career Coach. We were having students, you know, applying for 1 or 2, 3, 4, in some cases, programs with us. We've, in the last year, had a 50% reduction in those holding multiple offers since their interview. And this has been a year-on-year decrease, and we've had an even further, you know, 50% increase on that this year. So lots of positive impact coming out of having Career Coach on our website. Next slide, please. So that's kind of giving you an insight in terms of that application. I've talked about outreach in terms of being able to go and deliver these in Career Coach sessions in schools. as well. But one thing that we kind of used Career Coach for was career exploration for all. I'll just kind of give you a bit of context around that. Back in 2018, and for a few years before that, we'd run in partnership with the 4 local schools within Weston-super-Mare a post-16 kind of options evening, where we would co-fund this with them. We'd also invite loads of other post-16 providers from North Somerset, School Sixth Forms, independent training providers from Somerset and wider afield. They'd all come together. Then the 4 schools kind of went into their own multi-academy trusts, but we kind of saw there was some real value in this. So we kind of took this on ourselves, but changed the focus in terms of not just post-16 options and providers, but wanted it just to focus on careers. So back in 2019, we launched What Next. It was a career showcase event that we held in the Winter Gardens in Weston-super-Mare. And it was about just bringing employers, giving young people and their influencers access to employers. We had over 400 attend. It was, you know, we're really happy with that. It kick-started our open event season. We wanted that to be, come and find out about employers and careers, and then come to one of our open evenings. Then the pandemic came, but we saw some real value in it in 2019. So we did a week-long virtual careers week based around What Next. And you can see some of the kind of things that we did on the left of the screen in terms of going out to employers, asking them to record videos and snippets about what their industry is like. And then we used, and we backed this up with taking LMI out of Career Coach to inform those videos, as well as having that first-hand account from employers themselves. Then 2021, we were able to start, you know, bringing back face-to-face events. So we brought the two together and did a week-long kind of hybrid career showcase. So webinars from about the various different qualifications and the employers, again, those virtual IAG, and then we created, using again Career Coach data, a program. So we had 14 different sectors based around our career excellence hubs, and you can see an example from the engineering one there, which we pulled LMI out of Career Coach for, and we had over 500 attend that 2021, which was pretty much limited due to the numbers that we had coming out of COVID protocols. But you can see there over 50,000 engaged online. And what we saw in terms of kickstarting our open event series was that learners were actually going specifically to areas. We used to see students go to various, we have 3 campuses at Weston, they may go to 1 or 2, go and explore different areas. They said, well, we've been to What Next, I know what I want to do, I now want to come in and have a look at that provision at the college. So again, some real impact there. Next slide, please. And this will hopefully just show you a bit of a video in terms of an insight into What Next that took place in October.
It's not just about what job am I going to do, it's that step going over the bridge from education to the working world, and it is still quite a big step. So having as much exposure to meeting employers, not just to learn about what jobs are available, but to what it's like, to what it feels like to work in a business. I think that's one of the biggest things that helps.
A lot of the students we spoke to were quite unsure what they wanted to do. I think like an evening, like an event like this has helped to give them a really diverse range of industries and businesses to get an understanding, the flavour of what people do. I think it's really important that we offer students advice and guidance and the opportunity to open our own doors and to come to events like this, to share our own experiences, to try and guide the next generation to bring them into the industry.
Planting the seed early with young people, letting them know what's available in your company, inspiring young people to join you in the future. so it is nothing but a benefit to an employer, really. But being part of inspiring people to, you know, want to go into different industries is a great thing too.
Great. So hopefully so far we've kind of covered how we've used Career Coach to make an informed application, and then how it's also influenced some of our outreach work in the community. What we've kind of done so far is that making an application, we realised, I think, that there was also a real big use for Career Coach at other stages of that learner journey. We alluded to that 4-stage applicant journey. And what I want to talk to you now really is about what we classify as stage 3, which is orientation, so post offer of place. And again, this really kind of came about following the pandemic 2020, when obviously we realized that we were going to have learners come to us in September 2020 who had missed a significant period of learning. We hadn't been able to put in place the usual transition support that we would. And therefore, we put together a virtual bridging program. And this was about starting to get them thinking about college, supporting them that transition. We put this in place alongside giving all new starters access to Microsoft Teams for specific subjects, so they can start engaging with each other and their tutors. And we then refined this last summer for 2021 entry. We focused on 6 key themes, of which careers was one. Well-being, English and maths, digital skills, and employability. And what we did in terms of that virtual bridging program was to them to again use Career Coach as a careers exploration tool, because not obviously all of them had done that as part of their applicant journey. You know, the majority do, but some hadn't. And then what we wanted to do was for them, we set kind of our own kind of activities outside of that career assessment, and then it would form part of their discussion at the beginning of their program. This year, we've taken it a step further. We probably had about 60% of our new starters complete a Career Coach assessment when it was part of a virtual bridging program in 2021. We are, you know, careers not courses, and we wanted to make sure that that was vital. We'd also seen, you know, some learners were changing programs, and when they did access our careers team, they weren't necessarily always aware of, you know, why they were on that program in terms of their career aspiration. So what we've decided to do for this coming September is build Career Coach as a mandatory activity within our induction. So we at Weston have a careers tutorial program, which most colleges or all colleges will do. Ours is completely digital. It's done through online modules that tutors deliver. They are created by the careers team and our digital team. And then you can see an example here. We base it around the careers theory of DOTS. We interpret it slightly different to be SODT, so self-awareness, opportunities, decision, and transition. And our first careers tutorial is Who Am I, which is about self-awareness. So we deliver this online tutorial as part of their study program. We've decided to bring that forward into induction now. So all learners will complete this as part of induction. Now, what that actually means is that they will go onto this online module via Moodle, and they will complete, as you can see in the screen there, there's a link to Career Coach. They will do their Career Coach assessment, save that onto their Moodle. They will then do a Who Am I quiz activity, which will pull out their characteristics, their traits, all that information, and their career goals out of that career assessment, and they will complete that. And again, that is an assessment that's built into Moodle. And then they will also look in terms of think about what's new to the inspection framework coming in September around sustainability, green careers being a big agenda. We've introduced other elements around exploring green careers. What the tutors will then do in their first 5 weeks is sit down with every single learner and go through the answers to their Career Coach assessment and that who am I activity. And again, it's just about reinforcing careers, not courses, making sure those learners are on their right program of study when they come to us. So that's another way that we've kind of started to take Career Coach, not just in terms of a student recruitment tool, but again, around kind of retention and embedding it into other elements of the learner journey. Next slide, please, Alex. So at the beginning, and just a bit wary of time, that we talked about other products that we at Weston use around Lightcast. So we've used Career Coach for 6 years, and obviously that's the program we're here really to talk about today. But I wanted to show that link to another program that we acquired, as I said, 4 years ago, which was Course Vision. At Weston, we have a teaching, learning and assessment strapline, which is ready to learn, ready for work and ready for life. And that really much encompasses the intent of our curriculum over those 3 strands. And as a leadership team, we kind of say if it doesn't align to that, we shouldn't be putting that on for our learners. It's not going to meet the need of industry or support them to be future assets for employers or their next steps. So how do we use LMI to inform that? Well, we use Course Vision as well as Career Coach to make sure we can pull out labour market intelligence to identify need. And there's various different ways that we do that. And Course Vision is probably the main way that we do that. You can see an example there of a business development report, and this is looking at general construction and construction management within 4 local authority areas in and around Weston-super-Mare. So I can see that there are current or have been 37,000 job openings in the last year, but when I look over the next 5 years, I can see that there's going to be a 3% growth compared to that of the national average. And then it shows me what those occupations are, as well as a number of other things. And you can't really see it on the slide, but it also will show you for each of those occupations what's called as a location quotient, which will say if it's a score of 1 or above. So for example, I think there's a chartered surveyor on that image at 1.27. That's saying that for every 1 chartered surveyor job opening in the UK, nationally, within those 4 local authority areas, there's 1.27 job openings for chartered surveyors. So there's much more demand within that area than there is nationally. So we can start to kind of identify how we should be building our curriculum. And then the middle image looks at skills. So we kind of make the assumption that in terms of those hard skills and that knowledge, that's going to be delivered through the technical qualification of a study program. But what about those wider knowledge, skills and behaviours and more of those softer skills that are required within industry now? And that's where Course Vision comes in, and that starts to pull out those softer skills. So what we do at Weston is we build what we call ID, which is individual development, as part of our programs of study that focus on developing those skills that are aligned to that specific industry. So what we then do to make sure that that's right and is what is in demand is we go and seek clarification from our employer partners. So we have industry advisory boards as a college that we host with employers, and we'll say this is what we're thinking in terms of curriculum. Does that align to what you want? And then we'll go and get our Career Excellence Hub partners to actually give that seal of approval by endorsing what we're offering as a curriculum. And yesterday we were really fortunate to announce that NatWest had just become our latest endorsement for our business provision. So I think in terms of a college, we know that our intent is quite good, and we can then map those ID skills into Career Coach, so we can show that if the learners are good at those skills, that's the type of provision that or industry that might align to that. But at the same time, it then led us on to implementation and thinking about sequencing and making sure our learners understand why they're studying those skills. So what we felt we had to do and plug a gap was to create skills map. You can see an example of 1 page of a 3-page skills map there. So that's showing the first year of a level 3 program. And it just explains what those learners will be studying over each of the 3 terms of an academic year, where those skills are going to be taught. So it will show in bold those key ID skills, those soft skills. So it helps our tutors demonstrate the sequencing. It understands the learners understanding why they're being taught that, and we have those for all of our programs of study at Weston. Next slide, please. So everything that we've kind of talked about is and has started to form part of a wider strategic bit of work at the college, and this is what I think our Beacon Awards centred around, which was the launch of our new career strategy back in October, with the strapline "Making Careers Everyone's Business," and that's centred around 4 pillars of innovation. That really, first one being leadership and ethos, so that ethos of careers, not courses. Leadership in terms of investment in state-of-the-art facilities to be able to provide our learners with real-world learning. In terms of immersion, we've talked about that around the knowledge, skills and behaviours from that first interaction through career coach, student recruitment, through to orientation and then throughout their programme, as well as being able to then support them focus on career management skills. Exploration and collaboration. Careers is no longer about an information hub. We want to empower applicants and learners to have the confidence and tools to explore careers, and obviously Career Coach plays a vital part of that. And we also make sure that our careers advisors have access to course vision for that much more detailed, I suppose, insight into industries and what's going on in terms of future trends. And then tech enhanced, and obviously that's where we have our career e-modules, we have our own developed careers online platform, but obviously then utilising programs and licenses from organisations such as Lightcast to develop that and enhance it. You know, our Gatsby Benchmarks scores are very good. We have 6 at 100%, and the 2 that are not are at 80% for benchmark 8, and then benchmark 1's at 94%. But at the same time, in terms of a quality assessment, we've also introduced our own careers development and valuation framework that's built in-house and is built into our quality cycle. So we have learning walks specifically about careers advice and guidance, and all subject area managers have to do a presentation to leadership on the impact of careers in their area. And you can just see some of the outcomes in terms of student voice that we've had around our careers provision at the college in the last year. And next and final slide from me is just to really show you the importance of this agenda and how Career Coach and other products, you know, Alex has already alluded to another one, how important they are in terms of what colleges need to be able to deliver and what they're judged on. It's not just about the Gatsby benchmarks. Obviously, there's a new version coming of the inspection framework, but careers is already, you know, at the core of that. And these are just some examples I've taken this year from 2 outstanding graded colleges. So if we have anybody on the webinar from Barnsley or Nelson and Colne, I'm sure you'd know that you know about these statements already. But you can see what Career Coach and other Lightcast products enable us to do. They make sure that we can align our curriculum to the needs of industry. It's about careers advice and guidance. We're planning ambitious curriculum that's meeting industry needs, and we're having regular assessments around that and bringing enterprise and innovation into our curriculum. And that's it from me, Alex. So I'm happy to take any questions.
That's great, thanks Ben. That was really useful, and it was great to see how I suppose you're embedding these tools that we have at Lightcast into your whole student journey. I think that's really important. I think looking even before they start doing that first stage itself, and then you're really focusing on their career pathway. I just had a little look. We don't have any. If anyone does have any questions, please just as we said earlier on, just pop them in that question box on your panel, and I'll keep an eye on that. But whilst we keep an eye out for questions, and we do have one more webinar coming towards the end of July, looking at artificial intelligence in the UK labour market. So if that's of interest to you or colleagues, then please do send that on. I think there's going to be a big push around artificial intelligence. Again, keep going through at the moment. And also, as I said earlier, if you would like a demo or a conversation about Career Coach or Curriculum Insight, then please do get in touch with one of us below. Obviously, you've got Ben, who's Director of FE, or you've got then Carla, who's our Business Development, or myself. So please just drop us a line if you do have anything as well. We do have one question that has come, a couple of questions that have come through. Ben, so I hope you're okay to answer these. One is from Merthyr College, I believe. So Ben, do you ever struggle with staff engagement in this area? And if so, how do you combat this?
Yes, I think we've all kind of gone through that journey around equipping staff with, I suppose, the tools and confidence to discuss careers, advice and guidance. The careers team host a really engaging annual staff CPD session for all of our staff, and they take them through the careers program. They show them how to use kind of the tutorials and discussions to align to curriculum units. They also, take them through career coach as well. And then just going back to those skills maps that we talked about on that one slide, that was a real, big thing for us, for our staff to really see kind of why they're teaching exactly what in terms of that sequencing, the development of skills. So yeah, I think we've definitely made some progress with it, and I think kind of that just embedding it at all stages of the learner journey has been pretty vital to making sure staff see that and have the narrative to do that. And the big push on reprofiling our curriculum around career excellence hubs again has helped driven that forward.
Perfect, thank you. We do have actually quite a few questions that have come through, Ben, so I hope that's all right.
Yeah, cool.
One's given excellent presentation, so thank you. Did you previously have a bit of a split between careers departments and marketing, or did they always work well together?
Well, they're still separate, but I think my role kind of is about bridging the gap between the two, and I think we have various different groups and working groups, and we just realized that there was a lot of synergy in that. And I think we just looked at, students weren't making an informed decision when they came to us. And I think that's also, where, I take my hat off to Lightcast and all of the people there, that they've actually made that a lot easier for our marketing department to embed, programs such as Career Coach onto our website. It is really easy to set up. I think our implementation is, a month in terms of it's about you giving them your course list and all the vital information, and then it's just set up and it's supported process. I think we just realized that actually it is the way forward now in terms of marketing and profile and student recruitment, is that careers are vital. It's the agenda at the moment. It's in everything, white papers, leveling up. So it has to just be our focus to make sure that we deliver, I suppose, the outcomes that we aspire to.
That's great, thank you. And with your What Next event, Ben, when did you hold that with employers? What time of year was it?
So we hold it end of September, beginning of October. So that is, as I said, it's held 2 weeks before our first open event. So we, as I said, this year we had, I think, 26 employers across the 14 hubs. So we invite all schools within the local area, so not just the 4 in Weston-super-Mare, those within wider North Somerset and Somerset itself. So yeah, that's been really successful. As I said, the impact was that we saw learners then coming to specific areas, having mentioned what next, and we do learner voice, and they do reference what next being a big thing for them. I think ultimately, FE colleges have the opportunity, they have a much larger employer bases than schools do. So by us kind of being able to utilize the networks and the contacts that we have has been really useful for young people. And again, just going back to it, more importantly, their parents, their support networks, their influencers, to be able to understand what's actually going on outside, because not just FE, HE is all about kind of outcomes. What is your program going to give me now that your college down the road or the school sixth form will or won't be able to? So those employer outcomes are really vital now for us.
That's great. And you talked about your employer network being quite large. Under that, then, I suppose, is your career service structure. How big is your careers team? Obviously, it's going to be like the structure of the team? Is it reasonably big, or is it?
No, I'd love to have more. I've got 3 careers advisors who are fantastic, 3 FTE careers advisors, and they work across our provision. We have job coaches that specifically support adults looking to go into employment who've been on our programs. But what we have, and this is where the principal and other members of leadership team have been able to, I suppose, that ability of horizon scanning, is that we've built our own business growth department. So their sole purpose is to go out and foster these relationships with employers, and they'll come in and we'll do collaborative projects with them. But obviously their focus at the moment is also around those career excellence hubs and employer partners and endorsements. And then we also have a separate work experience team who are going out and trying to set up placements or coordinating the placements, for example, industry placements for T-levels, or the comprehensive work experience placements that are required for other programs of study. So careers team is quite small, and they do a great job of that, and see lots of learners and so on. I think all colleges would probably say they could do with more investment in terms of resource, in terms of careers, but we supplement that by having other teams, and that's where things like Career Coach and other investment in technology, such as our module program being digital, has enabled us to reach out further to students and allow our advisors to just be advisors. So they've been able to do a lot more one-to-ones with our learners, because tutorials and Career Coach as a software, as a label, has empowered our learners to do their own career exploration.
No, that's great. I think that's a good answer there as well around that. We've had a couple of questions about the skills map and how you brought that together. I know your colleague Ed Brown did a lot of work around the skills map and the ID. I don't know if this is possible. I don't know if we'd be able to share maybe an example of a skills map with listeners. I don't know if that's possible, Ben. We might speak to Ed for that.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to send it a template through, and if we can then send that out to attendees, I'm more than happy for that. Yeah, it ultimately is about they will go in and they'll look at the Lightcast data, either through Career Coach or, in this case, really more through Course Vision. They'll pull out those key skills, and then they will create their skills map around that. And that page, just example, is about that sequencing, but there are other pages that just give an overview of the context about why we're doing it, and then a specific I suppose, more of an look into what those key skills are and how they'll be delivered. So yeah, I'm happy to send that across, Alex, and then for that to be distributed.
That's great, thank you very much. And that answers all the questions that have come through. So again, thank you very much, Ben, for joining us today and for delivering that. As I said earlier, if any of you do have any other questions or want to explore anything further, then please do just drop one of us a line. But otherwise, thank you very much and have a good day.